Hey, folks, John Duffin here with Duffin Media. Welcome to another episode of Your Monday Motivation, where we are here to kickstart your week. And I get to do this with my partner in crime, superstar lender Chad Levine. How's it going, buddy?
Happy Monday. I'm going to tell you something, John. It doesn't matter whether or not you like sports or not. If you live in the Philadelphia area, I don't remember the last weekend that was this exciting and
Tense
this
and fun.
successful. Yeah.
Right?
Like, how do we not shout out part of our motivation to the fighting Phils and the diehard
And
Philly
the diehard, if you're a native Philly guy, and I can say Eagles, them Eagles. So my sports pedigree goes all the way back. I mean, my mom and dad definitely, but my mom, who is 93 years old and would know and talk almost anybody in regards to local, especially local. So she's been a diehard Phillies, Eagles, Sixers, but it's been fun, man. It's been fun. And that motivation in terms of, look, both Phillies games were tight and tense. Phils were losing in the ninth, and I'm driving home from an appointment, and there is some bar or whatever in Fishtown. And I'm coming back from Fishtown, and I'm in the car, and I hear this crazy loud cheer. And it just sent chills through me. So that will motivate you.
And John, you know what else I want to do?
What's that?
And I've been dying to do this. And it's funny,
Right.
like there's a reason why I brought this up. So tell everyone what you did Saturday. And I want to close my eyes. Can you call a play for me just so I can like feel it?
Yes.
So tell everyone.
Right, I'll do it fast. I just literally had to feel the moment. I had the great pleasure of being asked to be the public address announcer for it's my dad's high school alma mater, which is Roman Catholic, legendary in the Philadelphia area. And their football game was against Archbishop Wood, and they needed a public address announcer. And they called me. They called me Friday. And it's like, hey, are you available? And it was one of those things where I made myself available. Because
so you don't do everyone. You don't do every game.
Not yet.
Yeah, is that going to happen?
Not yet. Oh, that's always the intention for me is deliver, show up, deliver, and then know that here's what so I called a basketball game this past fall, a high school basketball game. That athletic director was at another school at the time, switched schools to Roman Catholic. And here's his words. He said, hey, you're on my roster of announcers. Well, I don't know that. You earn the privilege by showing up, being prepared, and mostly by taking action. Right?
And John, let's be honest with the public here.
Yeah.
You're not and maybe I don't know. Are you a statistician? Do you know the sport that well? And does it require that level of knowledge? So how do you even how do you even get into calling an entire game?
I love it. Yes, I'm an absolute sports fan. Yes, I've followed sports all my life.
And do you have to be to call those types of games?
I think it helps because here's what I learned, especially with football. So calling look, it's the Joe Bucks of the world are supremely talented. And it's like for all the knocks that announcers get, Merrill Reese, these guys are so damn talented. And I'll tell you why. There is so much going on. And the timing of it, you keeping up with it, because they don't give you 5 extra minutes to look up the number, look up the yard marker. I'll try to remember when the ref is doing this. What does that mean? You're calling it in real time. And lastly, you're calling it from a distance. So your eyes have to be good too. So all this is going on. I get the rosters Friday night. So do I know everything about stats? No, I don't. But I'm grateful I know enough. So showed up. That was the thing that felt good. And with this specific episode, I will say I was going through some really difficult stuff, at least for me. And one of the things that I could have easily called out of that experience. Hey, I'm not able to do it because they'd have gone to another announcer. But I'm like, just show up.
And that's the way to segue today's topic. But before we do, call one. I got to hear this.
Okay, sure.
I got to hear this. Bring us into the game. Bring us into the game.
Man. So so first off, Roman Catholic won 12-7. It's a much closer against Archbishop Wood. It's a much.
No, I meant bring me into the stadium. Welcome everyone to today's matchup.
Oh, absolutely. You got it. I'm done. Thanks, buddy. All right.
Do it.
Welcome, folks, to Cardinal O'Hara High School, where your Roman Catholic Cale Heights are charging onto the field to face Archbishop Wood's Vikings. Welcome, folks. And the kickoff begins at 1 p.m. And at 1 p.m., we got rolling, right? And I remember, so the first play from scrimmage, I'm practicing all the names the night before. There's a lot of people on a football roster. 11 and 11 start, and a boatload of people are also on the roster. I'm pronouncing every kid's name and learning it and going back and forth and sending voice messages to the athletic director. So very first play from scrimmage. And you've got a long run from Roman Catholic's Mayo Howe. 1st and 10 on the Roman Catholic 35-yard line. That was the first play from scrimmage. I'll share this with you, though. Mayo is spelled M-A-O. I prep, study. Colleague, another announcer, has always shared with me, get the names right, because chances are good that kid's parents are in the stands, and it won't be the kid that's going to be all that. He won't care. They won't care. The parents do. So I've practiced. I know it. I've got it. It's Mayo. My first play. And that's Mao Howl. And I hear 2 people yell, "That's Mayo, Mayo." So I go back to the mic, Mayo. I know it was that kid's parents. I know it. But you also got to get past the nerves. You got to get past the nerves. Oh, my God, it's just me. It was just me with a microphone, right? Yeah. And I'm in there with a microphone. I've got the opposing coaches. Team is literally in the booth with me, and that's it. Yeah. So it's putting yourself into the place. Do you know every single thing? No. But it's like, am I going to go there? Am I going to lie? No. But I was just going to say, I'm ready. I'm prepared. And I showed up. And it was a great, fun experience. So thanks for letting me relive it.
That's awesome. Okay. So and you weren't expecting me to open up the show with that today, but
I love that you did.
Yeah, it's a good reminder of who you are and your talents and how many different things you get yourself involved in. So, and again, let it be a piece of motivation. You know what, John? You're never too old to chase after those fun things. But anyway, let's not. So you segue into today's. You created today's show theme. So you segue into it.
I love it. And by the way, this show theme, folks. This is all about resilience is what I want to talk about today as well too. And I got to tell you, like, resilience comes in a lot of forms, and you've heard a lot of different cliches. There's no doubt, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face from Mike Tyson. No one's coming from Mel Robbins. You hear a lot, but if you're not in the frame of mind to actually go do something, that sort of stuff can paralyze you, right? And that's one of the things. I work with a high-performance coach. His name is Coach Dana Cavalier, former strength and conditioning coach of the New York Yankees. And this is the sort of thing where today's theme to me is reminding me of my commitment. So when Chad just was kind enough to let me relive that experience, you can forget if you're not in a bad frame. If you're in a bad frame of mind, you can forget what it is, not just what you do, but what you care about. I do this because it's not just because I'm grateful to say I have a natural talent for it, but it helps people when I speak. And on that specific day, I know I added energy to that event. However, all of that is to be said with, can you do that when you get knocked back? That's where it was. And that's where, like, for me today, specifically Monday, October the 10th, right? I got knocked back on a couple of things. Horrible computer stuff. Having my computer crash. It's been 9 days now. I'm missing all sorts of data. I've been completely freaked out. I've got major car problems that I'm dealing with that I just wasn't expecting. So I come back from a blissful time in Portugal and everything's perfect and wonderful. And then then you show up and I'm laughing, but it sure as hell hasn't been funny to me. And then you show up and then you get knocked on your backside and it's like repeatedly, and you question everything if you're me. And you get paralyzed. And when I get paralyzed, I'm at my worst, you know? And that's where I have been for this entire weekend. And one of the most powerful things about getting to do this show, your Monday motivation, at least to me, has never been about Pollyanna. It has never been it won't be about just cheerleading. You've got that. You can go search for that. There's videos for that.
Sure.
This is about strategic action, especially when you're not prepared to take the action.
And part of that is thoughts. It's having a pre-trained strategy. When you go to the thought, this is what you're going to do, right? And having that set up. So let's hit us with your quote for the day.
100%.
We're going to get into that segment, and then we'll bring up our 2-minute clock.
Deal.
So we're going to bring up John's quote for the day.
Yep. All right. And the quote's coming up. And I already referenced the author of this quote, who is Coach Dana Cavalier, former strength and conditioning coach, published author, Habits of a Champion, and a ridiculously talented high-performance coach. So the quote, you hear the ABCs, and you've always heard the always be, and the C, what typically comes to your mind when you hear always be?
Closing.
Boom. That's exactly right. In this case, there's a minor shift, which is always be committed. You want to pop the clock? I'll let you know what I mean.
Oh, look at you. It's going right. Look at him. You know what's funny?
No, hey, listen, this is you in the flow.
We went from the first time we did this, we pulled his pants down and we're like, woo! Right? He's like,
you know how awful that would feel to me.
And now on episode 3 with the clock, he's like, F that. Bring it on.
Bring it, baby. So all right, again, and already. So, folks, here's what it is. So, I already gave you the prelude as it regards to the sense of how your mind can work against you. And if you're me, what happens is nobody is as prepared as they think. And in this economy, in this time where we are questioning everything, or you should, you've heard Tony Robbins, of all people, talk about winter is coming. Well, here's the thing. This is the opportunity where you get to relook and revisit, but you got to be careful, because when you go back and relook and revisit, it's an opportunity also for disaster. What do I mean? You start to question yourself, if you're me, everything you do, and you want to go back to old and bad habits. And then you form judgments that don't make sense. The commitment, the always be commitments. Why the hell am I doing this? I had a 30-year career in broadcast advertising sales, and I'm grateful to say a pretty good one, to say the least. And I laughed because a few years ago, 3+, right? I built this new career from nothing. I want to forget that. I want to drop that. And folks, when you do, it's like you're taking risks, and you got to give yourself some credit. I teach myself, and I did it today. So why exactly am I doing it? Chad brought up the Roman Catholic experience in terms of a public address announcer. It was such an energy jolt, and I would have cheated myself if I didn't show up, and I could have played that card. I get the opportunity a little bit later this week to speak in front of the Real Producers Group this coming Wednesday evening, which excites me to no end. I get the opportunity to hone my skills because people's moods and energy change when I speak. For you, you've got inherent gifts. The key is don't get paralyzed by a bad mood, a bad day. Use those skills.
Okay, good. I like that. So always, I'm going to do the right? Because
sure.
I always, this is the part of what the hell did John say, right? That's what. So, excuse me. So my translation of what you're saying is it's not just committed. It's committed to what, right? Because I actually want to take your quote to one step further. So always be committed to the things that you know about yourself. Always be committed to your convictions, to your passions, to the things that drive you, right? And I think the whole purpose is that you're going to allow yourself, because you're human, to go through the roller coaster of thoughts and emotion. But if you stay committed to who you are and what you do best, you will come back up and you will succeed, and you'll ultimately get to where you want to be.
I love that. I love that description. I'll add one more thing that I thought about too. So my buddy, real estate colleague, and I love the guy, Michael Prince from Prince Properties, Compass Realtors, great talent, damn good guy, and a brain. And so it's addition to his talent, it's his mind. He creates pieces on social media, the positive action. The acronym is PLAN, right? And he just put up something today. Follow this if you are on social media. And what he talks about is making decisions in a bad mindset. Put yourself in a place of some sort of calm or serenity, because you can make terrible decisions and then act on them. Here's why I brought that up, and here's what I'm saying. It doesn't mean just do anything. Break up with the dude. I'm having a bad day. It doesn't just mean it's think about it for a moment, but don't make the mistake that I have made in the past, which is think too much. And think that I need to be in a good mood before I do something. Think before I've got to be, energized. You don't. I was in a terrible mindset Saturday morning. I have to go to the car rental place. I don't like this. I'm thinking, oh my God, I've loved my car, blah, blah, blah.
Were you what we call bitchy John?
Absolutely. And sad bitchy John. So it's even worse, right? It's not, so I'm totally, I have to go rent this. We had a Camry. I drive a BMW. And so, but again, the action, if you would ask me Saturday morning, what was the action going to be? Don't go.
Drinking?
It's a high school game, right? A high school game, whatever. It meant so much to me to get the privilege to do that. So this is what happens as a result. You take the action. You're like, okay, I know why I do this. Not just my energy changes, not just the people in the stands' energy changes. So I know I'm doing the right thing. Right.
So John, I'm going to stop you, because this is where my nuggets come out. Right.
Yeah.
That's where my nuggets come out. If you have what I call a resiliency plan, okay, think about this for a minute.
Right.
If you have a plan of how and it's an individual plan, because everyone's resiliency plan will change. Right. It'll be based on them. But if you know how to get yourself out of whatever hole it is, right? And I mean mentally, right? Yeah. But if you have that plan in place, you can get to a better place quicker.
Yes.
Right? So I think when it comes down to, again, the full circle, the show's today theme is resiliency. It's resiliency. Creating that. And John, again, you and I everyone thinks they don't get it. They're like, they watch these shows like, where the hell are they going with this? It's really simple. We start with a thought, right? Yeah. We start with a concept, but we end with a nugget. And my nugget is having a resiliency plan that's tailored to you.
100%. I love, oh my God, I love it. Have a resiliency plan that's tailored to you. That is a nugget, Chad. It's beautiful. Take that time. If you want to sit and go back and rethink, do that. I've talked about in past episodes, remembering the body of evidence, the things you've done before that are really, that you've valued, appreciated, enjoyed. And why does it matter? Because when you're sitting there, oh my God, in your car, it sounds like it's going to blow up and all that stuff. You can't, I can't, in that mindset, have oh, you know what? I'll just do this and this, and you don't. I go into freak out mode.
Yeah.
I credit, like I said, when I've talked about Joseph.
But what if you had a resiliency plan in place? What if you had something figured out that was set up before you got to that mindset, and before you got to that point, that allowed you to pull yourself out?
That's where you go. That's it. So don't take the risk. If you're going to invest the time in planning, folks, and it's Monday morning and it's 10:30 in the morning, you're like, hey, I gotta do this and I gotta do, and I'm moving, right?
Yeah.
Got you. Understood. If you want to optimize the movement today and you've got a couple of minutes, think about what Chad just said, which is, okay, what will be the plan if the old cliches get hit in the face, get knocked in my rear end? You know what I mean? Like, what happens? Don't wait till then, because the plan is typically terrible at that point. You know?
And you know what it's like? And John, you know what the best analogy is? Never go food shopping hungry.
Oh my, right? John, why do you have 11 packages of Chips Ahoy?
Don't go. If you're going to go
starving.
If you're going to go to an emotional battle, right? If you're going to get into this war, right? Always go with your strategy. Don't go naked. Right. Don't go without your weapons. Don't go without your weapons.
Know that it could happen. Know that getting knocked back could happen suddenly, and everybody's knocked back is different. And the way,
John, I'm so glad you said knocked back. You know why?
Right. Why?
Because I'm going to hit him with my quote for today. Right? My quote.
What is it? What is
it? It's from the ancient philosophers. No, it's not ancient philosophers. It's from a one-hit wonder back in the 90s. Right? And I know they sang about a Danny boy, but that's not who I'm talking about. Okay? It's I get knocked down and I get up again. I got to tell you, it's just that simple. I mean, we did have to look up the spelling of the group, just an FYI. You know, if I doubt anyone would remember the exact spelling. I thought it was Chubba Wubba, so I
feel like that we got this close is damn impressive. Right? And I know that everyone now, and I thank you for this, will spend the rest of their day thinking of I get knocked down and I get up again. Right? And good, because it's a fun song, number one. But the message, it's like, is critical. It is critical. That's in terms of, I love this. I love this. I love that song. I never get tired of it. And often I hear it just for the rhythm.
John,
you know what I mean?
I'm so inspired by today's conversation. I think we need to do an entire series on planning for like a resiliency plan.
I'm in.
So like setting something up before you go to the negative side. Before you go to the dark side, be prepared for the battle. Be prepared for the war.
Have something with you on your grocery list, as you were cool enough to say. You know what I mean? Have something. It doesn't mean you can't pivot, improvise. We're all doing that now, whether it's our finances, whether it's our mindset, whether it's our career paths. But it's the problem becomes, to me, and I'm speaking for me, which is the best way that I move on a Monday is not spend the entire day in planning. I don't need to do anything.
Well, stupid. and I think that's the whole point, John. I think that's the whole point. That where this motivation came from in my thought process was when you said, "Don't make decisions when you're in a dark place."
Thank you, my friend Michael Prince.
So guess what? You're gonna have the ability to get out of the dark place, so you can get to the decision quicker.
Absolutely. Quicker and better. So you need to be in the right place again. I don't tell people what to do, but I will simply say this. You literally, folks, I'll bet you, if you're watching and listening, is you've made time investments, financial investments for what you're currently doing. You've got people relying on you, whether it's your kids, your family, whatever it is, your clients, people need you, and they need you to be committed. They need you to be all in. And again, if you're getting knocked back, it's like, it's so easy. Yo, Bruno is on the line. Happy Monday, Bruno. I love it. And this is where it's to me, it's so, like you said, have some sort of a plan. You're going to invest time planning, plan that. And it's like right off the bat, plan that. And then you can take an action, feel a little bit more confident. And again, if it's not the right action, well, you did oh my God, an old cliche from 100 years ago. They did the best they could with the information they had. That's okay. Then you make another plan. And then you take another action. My mindset recently has been 2 actions for every 1 plan.
And are we telling our producer Jason to go screw himself at the 20? He's telling us to get off the stage. It's like we're at the end.
Okay, deal. I'm fine with that.
People.
I'm fine with that. But I feel, again, I hear you in regards to creating that series. To me, it's terribly important because we're all battling something. Everybody is. So why allow that to wreck your Monday, wreck your week, wreck your quarter, wreck your 2023, wreck your dreams?
Yeah.
To me, it's like, hey, we're going to move forward. It's a clear reminder. It just ain't always easy. You know? So what the hell do you do?
I dig it.
Always be committed. You're doing this for a reason.
I dig it, and I think today's show was good. It's funny. John and I end up at some place, whether it's the right place, it's the place we want to be. So
it feels good.
I'm gonna cap it off and say thanks everyone for watching another edition of Your Monday Motivation with Don Juffin.
Don Johnson.
with John. So basically, I want you to understand something, and then I'm gonna let you go. That is funny, and you know why it's funny?
What?
Because of mayo. That's why it's funny.
To the parents of Mayo Howell.
To the parents of Mayo Howell. Thank you so much from Don Juffin and Lad Levine. You have a great Monday, and thanks for watching Your Monday Motivation.
Bye, Al. We will see you next week. Bye.
Lad Levine, Don Juffin.